Hi guys, Yuki here, back with Seduce Me. Alright, so I think we're almost coming to a close. So, Damien just went into this one area, and yeah, let's just get to it. When did this? How did Damien know of this place? I walked down a small flight of stairs and continued through the dark secret hallway, unsure of what to see at the end. What was my grandfather hiding in here? Was it a magic room? Was it a secret study? I didn't know. I felt steam gently brush against my skin, making me shiver slightly. A boiler room? I was wrong. I was led to a door that opened to the outside from the direction I was going, and how far I went was a little past the backyard. Huh. When I opened the door, the sight made me gasp. I was greeted by a hot spring, private and isolated from the world. Was it magic? Was it just placed conveniently here? I wasn't sure. However, my eyes traveled to Damien, who was staring at me unsurprised that I followed.
Your grandfather told me of this place.
When?
When we first came here, before we had dinner, remember?
My mind went back to the day we met, remembering when Damien was looking at empty space and speaking to it. I knew there was something going on, but I didn't know what. You were talking to my...
He died, yes, but his spirit remained here while Malix chased us. Once Malix was no longer a threat, he left this place, knowing that we would take care of you.
Dang it, and here I thought I was putting some sort of barrier around the house. I could not believe what I was hearing. He was watching over me?
He didn't want you to be alone when you moved in. When we were attacked, he guided us to this house. We didn't know it was to protect you until after you went to bed that night.
Oh. There was so much information I felt... I was reading it too weirdly. There was so much information I felt nauseous. I felt myself falling back before Damien rushed over and held me close. I have a problem with swooning all the time. I should probably get my blood checked.
Whoa, careful!
I gripped to Damien, feeling his warmth surround me. Everything was happening so fast, I didn't know how to contain it all. Yet for some reason, I felt safe and secure in Damien's embrace. Was I crazy? Probably at this rate, but I didn't care to think about it. My mind went from spastic and crazed to calm and at peace in his arms. He wasn't using his incubus powers on me, though. I looked to Damien, seeing, at last, a deep love in his eyes. He cared for me and wanted to protect me beyond anything else in the world. He would have left long ago if that wasn't the case. Damien smiled at me, hearing my thoughts, and nodded, affirming them. I felt my heart flutter a bit, making me forget what chaos I went through. You really love me?
Yes, I do love you. More than anything.
Damien gently caressed my cheek, leaning his forehead against mine.
I wanted to tell you everything sooner, but I couldn't find the words. Now everything's come at you at once, and I really...
I brought a hand silently, Damien, again. I understand. Just tell me things earlier next time. Damien let out a small laugh and nodded. I knew he'd make it up to me one day, but one question festered in my mind. Obviously, Damien was curious too.
Do you love me?
I stared, unsure of how to answer. He could read minds, yes, but I was sure he couldn't read the conflicting feelings of my heart. I felt a storm raging in my chest, trying to dig up the answer. With my mind still frazzled, I let my heart guide my answer. I love you. I loved him and wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. Damien let out an almost surprised gasp against my lips before wrapping both of his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up and around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, making me feel unseen fireworks in my mind. Damien was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was also supernatural to fall in love with someone so quickly. Maybe it was the sense of magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I found myself melting at the thought of him being with me. Yeah, like I said, it goes pretty quickly. Like, I don't know how I feel about love going to, well, I don't know. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion that love just takes a lot longer than a week? Question mark? I'm gonna say it was a week. Or 2. I found myself combing my fingers through Damien's hair, making the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. He gently nibbled on my lower lip, asked me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slipped on my back and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Gently, though, Damien slowed the kiss down and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt and buckle in his arms. I could feel myself melt already. Damien opened his mouth to speak, but as a very small blush ran through his cheeks, he was reduced to a shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't need energy, though, right? Are you...
No, I just...
I stared wide-eyed, feeling blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was his passion really that deep for me? Damien gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I'll understand.
I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea. A moment with an incubus. He was a demon of sex, the purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock, and I would enjoy every second of it. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Deanna wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him, especially this early? I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew then what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment? This is where I'm at a dilemma, because I know there are younger viewers out there, and I don't know how I feel about reading more even steamier content, but I think what I'm going to do is, for this round, I'm going to keep it pretty clean, and then I'm going to make a separate video of alternate choice to this one, where you get to see the CG, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna say hold me. I wasn't ready, but I still wanted to give him the love he wanted. Holding me close was all I needed, all I wanted. Part of me grew fearful of what Damien would think. Would he hate me? Would he regret giving me his love? So many stories ended when a sex wasn't given, and I didn't want the story to end. Damien, however, smiled and caressed my cheek happily in response, nodding in understanding. I could tell that he was okay with my decision, which made my heart flutter in joy. Damien gently leaned in and kissed my lips once again, wanting both of us to cool down from our passionate high. I kissed back sweetly, feeling the heat in my chest die out peacefully. Damien pulled away slowly, looking into my eyes to reveal deep love that haunted his colorful irises.
All right, let's get you back to bed.
Damien then wrapped an arm around my shoulders and lowered his other arm underneath my knees. I easily held on to him as he lifted me up like a blushing bride and carried me out of the room and back towards my bedroom. Damien was kind enough to know my limits, and I trusted him to respect my choice. He wouldn't enthrall me to go against my wishes, nor would he force himself on me. He was perfect. Damien gently lowered me to my bed before petting my head with a loving smile. I was beaming in happiness. I didn't want it to end. As Damien turned to leave, I quickly grabbed his arm. Wait! Damien froze and looked back at me, awaiting my next command. He was going to obey no matter what I said, but he was anticipating what I was going to ask. I could see it in his eyes. However, I just wanted him to be with me a little longer. I didn't want to rest alone. Hold me. I repeated my words, holding another meaning to those words. Was he okay with what I wanted? I was so close to what he had asked for, but it wasn't going beyond what I desired. Damien took in my words and smiled, nodding before turning back to me and sliding into bed with me. I was surprised, but I happily melted into Damien's arms as they wrapped themselves around my body. I rested my head against Damien's chest, enjoying the warmth it provided as I closed my eyes. He truly loved me as I loved him. My rest with him was as peaceful as it could be, the best sleep I had in days. When I opened my eyes, I felt Damien still holding me, but he had fallen asleep. His sleeping face made me giggle softly, but the reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was laying next to a man that I had grown to love with all of my heart. His arm embrace made me feel safe, and as our heated dance replayed in my head, I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened and made me sit up without waking the man next to me. I felt my legs move and bring me to my balcony window, where I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. Let me guess. Who could it be? But Diana. I stared wide at Diana, who sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony with her glowing gold-eyed stare upon me. I opened my mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away.
So you say. Better be true.
I will admit, though, I'm shocked that you didn't give your innocence to him. We demons are the best lovers, you know.
I glared. What do you want, Diana?
Well, I wanted to extend a deal to you. I promise you'll like it.
I don't want any deals with you.
Not even to make Damien human?
I'm not giving you the boys.
I'm not asking for the boys this time. Ugh.
I stared dumbfounded as I looked at Diana. She rubbed her temple, clearly annoyed.
This whole trip has been a waste of my time and energy. All I want to do is go back home and take over my kingdom.
Then why don't you?
Because I need more energy if I want to even try to defend my home from that maniac demon lord. I may be brilliant, but I'm not exactly fortified to fight him.
Oops. I pressed my lips together in a flat line, not sure what Diana was wanting. Then I'm listening.
I'm willing to turn Damien human, if you're willing to give me your energy, and his.
Wait, what?
Simple, really. Give me the magic you're holstering in your body and let me take Damien's, and I'll be on my way, and you'll get a human boyfriend. A boring, plain, human boyfriend.
I couldn't believe my ears. Was Diana really offering this deal to me? How would you take this energy?
From you, a simple kiss will do. From him, that's a different story.
What do you mean?
I have to sleep with him.
What? I almost lunged at her. She must have been joking. Her sleep with him? No way in hell. Diana held her hands up in defense.
What you humans don't understand is how we demons work. A touch is a mere sip of energy, while sex is a pure energy transfero. Perfect for humans. A really passionate love-making session would drain any demon of their energy.
But he's...
Yes, he's your man, but I need the energy and you want him to get his wish. We both win, get it? I'll even throw in a memory spell. He won't even remember it.
That would make me feel pretty scummy, actually. I grew enraged. How is she okay with this? How did she expect me to be okay with this? But what if he doesn't want it? I'm not going to let you...
If Damien doesn't want it... Silly girl, do you not understand what he's willing to do for his humanity?
I froze.
He's willing to have sex with me. He just won't say yes in front of you because he doesn't want to hurt you. It's rather pathetic.
I couldn't believe my ears. Was this the truth? No way, it couldn't be. Yet at the same time, this made sense. This was why Damien was so silent the first time she asked him. Was it truly because he didn't want to hurt me, or was he actually not willing? Diana's voice broke my thoughts.
By the way, I'm not a total bitch if that's what you're thinking. I will ask him first before doing anything.
What? What was she going to ask him? Was she going to ask him? Why? You'll ask him if he actually doesn't want sex with you for his humanity?
If he says no, I'll just toss him back here and not change him. I'm not willing to do it with someone who will say no to me.
The way she talked about this deal annoyed me to no end. This was definitely a business deal. But this deal tore at my chest. Let him sleep with her and he'll become human. Don't, and he'll remain a demon. Oh, this is so horrible. But he suffered so much and he wants to be a human so badly. Damien's face popped back into my memory, reminding me of his desperate wish to become a human. I was able to grant it to him right here. Diana was a cruel woman. Fine.
Fine.
Ow.
Meaning you'll agree to my terms.
I agree to your terms.
Beautiful. Now.
Diana slid down from the railing and walked to me, gently running a finger up my neck to under my chin.
Your energy first.
I closed my eyes, not wanting to look at her as she kissed me. The kiss wasn't unpleasant by all means. In fact, I felt myself melting into the kiss more than I wanted. Every single nerve in my body tingled as energy spiraled up my entire being and into Diana's kiss. Soon, I felt a little weaker and a little more vulnerable than I was before. Diana pulled away and smiled down at me.
Such an interesting human girl. Sad to see you give up your powers so easily.
It's for Damien.
Right. Now, speaking of the bastard son...
Don't call him that. Diana walked into the bedroom towards Damien, looking down at him, down at his sleeping figure.
Oh, such a sweet thing.
How are you going to...
I'll enthrall him, take his energy, cleanse his body, make him forget, and then cast the human spell when he goes back to sleep. Simple, really.
That's it?
That's it. I'll make sure there's no trace of me when I'm done.
Just do it before I change my mind.
As you wish.
Diana chuckled before snapping her fingers, making Damien vanish from my bed. I instinctively panicked, but caught a hold of myself, remembering what was going on. Remember to bring him back.
I will. A demon never goes back on their word.
Better not. I'm gonna hunt you down if he doesn't come back. And with that, Diana vanished. I felt my stomach churn in disgusting patterns as I thought of Diana with Damien. However, before I could even flex a muscle, Diana reappeared, adjusting her hair back to normal. What?
What? Oh.
Diana let out a small laugh as I raised an eyebrow.
I brought into an isolated tear between our worlds. There, time moves much faster than in reality, so I was able to take what I need and be done.
Diana snapped her fingers, making Damien reappear in my bed as if he never left.
And there he is, clean and human.
I quickly ran to Damien's side, not sure what to say else. Diana sighed and popped a hip while crossing her arms to me.
Pity. Damien had so much potential, even for a bastard son.
Get out of here, I don't want to see you. Can you... Before I could speak more, Diana vanished into the air, leaving me alone with Damien. I looked around a little paranoid she would still be hiding, but I clarified to myself that she was gone. I looked to Damien and brushed a strand of hair from his face. Human. Something about this was bittersweet. He got what he wanted, but he had to sleep with Diana to get it. I slipped back under the covers and into Damien's arms, feeling him unconsciously hold me close to him. I cuddled close, letting sleep take over my mind. I'm gonna probably just finish it up in this episode, because, yeah. Morning had come, and I was well awake before Damien. He was still in my arms, sleeping peacefully as if nothing had happened. One thing was for certain, though. He was human. He was no longer a demon. He was a human, as he wanted. I waited. Waited for Damien to wake. Waited to see him realize that he no longer had magic. I didn't wait long. Damien slowly opened his eyes, stretching and rousing up. I held my breath, waiting for him to make the realization. He wouldn't be able to read my mind. He wouldn't be able to use magic. Damien's eyes landed on me, and his face grew a happy smile.
More...
His voice instantly grew silent as he stared at me, his smile suddenly fading into a look of shock. His mouth opened, but his eyes showed a speechless surprise. Damien couldn't read my thoughts. Damien slowly sat up, keeping his eyes on me, as if he was trying to figure out if he was in a dream. I gave him a little smile to him. It was cute to see him like this, almost. Damien brought a hand to my face and ran it over my cheek. I closed my eyes, feeling its warmth.
I can't read your mind. I don't have magic anymore.
I opened my eyes again, smiling at Damien's surprised expression now. In exchange for my magic and energy, Diana gave you your humanity. I stared, going almost frightful, as Damien's eyes began to water. His hand on my cheek lightly began to tremble. I didn't know if he was angry or happy, so I prepared for the former. I wasn't expecting him to grab me and hug me tight enough to press the air out of me. I gasped as I felt Damien hold me close and tightly. He was trembling, which only increased my fear. What melted my heart was the sound of Damien weeping into my shoulder. Oh, Damien! Damien, it's okay, baby.
I'm human! You made me human!
I wrapped my arms around Damien, burying my face in his shoulder and nodding. You're human now, Damien.
Thank you.
Damien pulled away slightly and pulled me into a kiss. One that was passionate and full of love. I imagined it to be one of the greatest kisses of all, mankind, for Damien's love filled every part of my body. I was happy. The rest of the story can almost be passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal, with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never even appeared in my world. One thing was for certain, however. Damien loved me, and I loved him just as much. We had promised our lives to each other, and nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. Our love was so powerful, it practically overwhelmed me with joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. What was even better was that Damien was truly happy. He was human, as he always wanted, and he showed me his gratitude every day. The other boys decided to leave in their own accord. They knew that my future would only need Damien at my side, so they each decided to start their own lives in the human world. Damien understood perfectly, wishing his brothers the best. Besides, Damien was human now, and he had found someone to care for. His brothers didn't need to worry about him now that he was caring for me. I felt bad as well for being closer to Damien than the others, but they reassured me that I was okay, and that they would remain nearby should I ever need them. I was happy for that. They made me promise, however, that I would love Damien for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. But what of my future? Well, it was kind of made for me. Before I graduated, James decided to step into the light of the Anderson Toys Company, and, with the help of his demon powers and leadership charisma, he managed to influence not only the entire board, but my father, as well as into letting him into running the CEO. I was beyond shocked. How would James manage to do all of that was beyond me, but when the vote was called, James had taken over the company, and I was destined to have. He vowed to keep the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become an even grander company. For a demon, it was simply to make a company grand. Confusing. My grandfather would have been proud to see James helped it shine. With the CEO position filled, my father had no choice but to let me decide my future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me in a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of whether the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help James build a company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Damien reassured me that he would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy and nothing could shake me down from this happiness. Actually, I think I'm just going to end it here and do the prologue thing in the next episode because it's getting pretty long. Anyways, thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!